billionaires would be panicked.
The Jim and Terry Show in the Hobbit Hole bunker, because that's going to be the theme. Yes, we are in a cinder block bunker in the basement. What is going to happen? I'm one of your hosts, Terry, and with me is my good friend.
Well, it used to be Jim.
Oh, and he's been taken over from his little alien.
Again.
It's the alien voice. We're exploring the question, the ethical question, and Jim phrased it with a biblical passage: you cannot serve God and money, to which I suggested you cannot serve any form of moral or ethical code. You call it whatever values
Principles.
you serve with money at the root of it. It's not possible. You will be torn asunder by the conflict between making money and morality. And so this is our Save America podcast, and this is what our advice is to Canada, to anybody who's listening to America. First of all, because we are the kind neighbors looking over the fence with a cup of coffee.
Hi, Tim.
Tim the Tool Time, Toolman Taylor. So here's our advice. Ditch the money-making machine.
Yeah.
Capitalism, you and I might agree or disagree to some extent.
I'm dulling on that, Terry.
You are? So
because of what I've seen, and I guess I have to thank Trump for that. I mean, is this what it is? Is this really what it is?
So you mean it took Trump and the extreme of the infatuation and desire for money and filthy lucre to make you aware that corruption can follow capitalism?
Billionaires and trillionaires provide a lot of work, which provides a lot of tax paying, a lot of that. I understand. I'm still thinking about that. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, to keep the peace, you would think someone who has $1 trillion can really publicly donate something to say, I may not be taxed, but I'm taking 10% and paying the health care for 3 years in all of America. You know what I mean? Like, wow, you're still a trillionaire. You're so busy making the money, you can't even spend it. So why not give some of it as
to
a
your
goodwill?
Employees? Let's start about that.
Well, your employees.
So let's talk about Jeff Bezos.
And maybe they do. Maybe there's great bonuses. I don't know.
Well, from what I see, Jeff Bezos and Amazon want to bust every single union attempt.
Well, and you know how I feel about unions.
I know how you feel, and yet I know that your 5-day work week, your 40-hour, 38.5
is because of unions.
Your lunch breaks, your guaranteed breaks, all of that is because, and your workplace safety, all of that is unions. If it weren't for unions, none of that stuff that we take for granted would ever be there because there's no money in giving benefits.
Yeah, and we would be under the control of the Anunnaki.
What? What is that?
No, that's not for another day.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I've been watching videos.
You've been watching too many. Okay. Our advice is simply this. Let's get rid of the money, the profit motive.
I agree with you, Terry. Sort of cut you, but you hit it on the head. I don't care if you're rich. I couldn't care less. But the government should not be a money-making thing, and get the motive for that away. And when somebody falls into that trap openly, like a certain president, the 25th Amendment.
Yeah. So he always, not to harp on Trump too much because this is a common corruption.
He likes to be harped on.
Yeah, he needs to be harped on. We cannot normalize or sane wash any of this stuff. It is insanity that people think this is normal. It is not normal. America is not normal. It is broken. Trump broke it, but it may have been broken in pieces and cracks that we did not see for decades before Trump arrived. And that's my theory of how America, there was fractured long before. And I would even go back to the Civil War and say that war was fought over slavery, and slavery is still an issue that many Republican states want to resurrect and say, we want to segregate our schools, we want to have our blacks at the back buses, we want to retrograde all of this stuff to before Civil War, when the masses really did run the plantations.
Yeah.
That's Make America Great Again in a nutshell.
Making America Great Again is probably their version of it.
Yeah.
Is total destruction. One of the reasons is because you've mentioned it before, but a lot of the people within that movement tie their identity to Christianity. And that's not the way of Jesus Christ. That's easy to see. Just look and see. Number one, the main thing is immigrants should be treated like citizens. That's one of the things right in the Bible, because you were once immigrants. That's what they said. And guess what? United States, Canada, we're all made of immigrants, all of it. None of it came from anybody being here. Your Native American Indian is your true indigenous people. Everybody else came from immigration.
Exactly.
And so to block that immigration, you forgot your own roots, and you forgot what Christ said, through the scriptures. Help the immigrant. Look after them.
The Good Samaritan story always gets me, because it was the Samaritan, the outcast, who did the good deed. Everybody else, the righteous, the pious, the self-inflated, look at me in my robes, I'm the great, I'm part of the Orthodox class. Yeah, you people ignored the person in need, and it was a Samaritan who reached out with empathy. Yeah. The shortage of empathy in America seems to be an issue.
Well, you got your pride problem, being proud we're the best, we're the greatest. That's being repeated again. Nobody has a stronger military than us. You're just asking for a fall. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if you, as a believer, and I'm talking to the Christian part of that, be prepared to be slapped down. You got to be fearful of your God. You know what I mean? And try to follow his ways. And one way you may really want to look is you cannot love God and money. You'll love one and hate the other. And how you hate the other is disregarding him. So that's one of the main problems they got to deal with in the United States. You've been hijacked. You're not what you think you are. You're a fake of your own hope and faith. Go back to the Statue of Liberty and just disregard all the other things in there. But what it said, give us your week, because they end up loving a nation. They work hard. They raise a family. It may take a whole generation, but they end up becoming the president and everybody else in charge, and remember their roots from whence they came. Yeah. Not just money handed down. They had to make it. But make America great again is make it a land of opportunity again. A land of opportunity.
Yeah, land of opportunity. But if my wife,
it's the land of greed.
My wife has been watching a series called The Gilded Age, and I call it the Gilded Cage because it's the money trap. It's the industrialists who built the railways, who built the skyscrapers, and it's always about more money. Yep. Having enough is never the question. How much is enough is a question we raised at the beginning. Never enough. Never. So the tycoons, that's, the Monopoly game with the tycoon. Yeah. That's America's vision of itself, where everybody could become a tycoon. Maybe that's not the most empathetic or compassionate way of looking at America.
Yeah. So I would say get back to your hope, the root of your hope, not what maybe happened. I don't care if all the founding fathers were just jerks and slave driver, whatever, but the hope of America. Bring that back. Read the Statue of Liberty again, and open those doors to the immigrants and be kind to them. They're going to build. They're the ones that are going to start off digging your ditches, picking your fruit and vegetables, and then eventually they'll own their own farms, and that's how it works. That's how America, the vision and the dream of America once was.
Is that anybody can make it.
Anybody can make it if you work hard.
If you work hard. So, but it's
not. You'll notice it never was. Anybody can make it if you're born into a billionaire's family.
Well, that's now more true than ever.
That's the truth.
How much is enough? Is $1 trillion enough? Do you think Elon Musk actually tipped the scale, put his thumb on the elections of 2024?
Well, of course he did.
I follow a website called, or a group.
Well, he gave money. Let's face it. He gave mountains of money.
Mountains of money. Yeah. And
there's another way you can help your old country there. Make it so the money can't buy an election.
It's got to be public donations, and whatever your cap is, $1,000, a couple of $100, but that's your cap. You can't spend. Get rid of the money machine that's involved in elections. Billions of dollars on an election?
Yep.
What is that? That's an abomination.
It is. I agree. So those are the things that we can help you, our brothers to the South, is how we're going to save America is by giving you just simple advice. Now, do I think you're going to follow it?
It's too baked in at this point.
But you know what? And one thing we should point out too, we also have corruption in our country.
It's a human condition to
right
be corrupt.
now, the reason we're on your country is because your country affects everything, economy and everything around the entire world, maybe even world peace.
A poll from Canadians is identifying America as the number one threat to Canada.
Yeah.
Not Russia, not China, not Kim Jong-un in North Korea. It's not any of those usual suspects of dictators are us club. It's America.
Yeah.
And that should be an alarming sign. So as your neighbor over the fence with a coffee, please don't force us to dump it on you.
Yeah, and no wonder, like, once we've started on this journey to find other partners, because we were forced away, our brothers, we were forced away from you. Your supreme leader has threatened us many times to just militarily take us over, annex us, and he's already declared economic war on us. He just announced it the other day. He has no desire to sign that a new agreement with Canada.
Kuzma.
Yeah, so he wants to ruin us. So we're moving away to try to find other partners who we can trust.
Other partners. Gee, that's a novel idea. Let's not rely on the one who's going to stab you in the back.
Yeah.
Jim and Terry Show. Lots more to come. Bye-bye for now. It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I